And so trying to just be as active as I could and get my hands on as many balls as I could, and take advantage of that. Caitlin? Yeah. Only done.
Oh, 2021, sorry, not 2016. What happened in 2016?
Four for 24 since.
Oh yeah, 4 for 20. What happened in 2016? Oh, Lex.
We got a team that
It was
This one's for Kelsey.
What happens when a rookie instantly transforms not just a team's talent, but the entire culture in the locker room? From the very first practice, Caitlin Clark's energy lit something inside the Indiana Fever. But the real story is how Lexie Hull became the teammate who matched that spark with humor, grit, and respect. Together, they created something fans can't stop talking about. But what are the exact moments that show just how special their bond is? Let's break down the most wholesome Clark and Hull highlights that prove this duo is something bigger than basketball.
And I think like part of my role is just getting to the open spots, and we have such a good offense that people find the open person. So to be that open person, you get excited. I mean, I don't think it's been like too much of a change. I think it's all good things. I think, the biggest difference is walking through the grocery store in Indianapolis. You get excited for the opportunity to shoot and score and be part of the, the momentum.
Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video. Imagine this, a rookie shows up to her very first practice and suddenly the gym feels different. Not because someone's scoring crazy buckets in drills, but because the energy in the room changes. That's exactly what happened when Caitlin Clark walked in with the Indiana Fever. Everyone expected her to boost the offense, sure, but what nobody realized was how much her presence would shift everything around the team, from how players communicated to how hard they pushed each other when nobody was watching.
I mean, it's been awesome. It's been so good. Definitely seen just such a growth year after year. So, I mean, it's been so fun. The fans in Indiana have been amazing. So just excited to keep playing there. But I would say I don't think there's extra pressure. I think it's just, it's so much more exciting. It's an exciting environment, electric environment when you have fans so engaged. So fun to have fans so engaged in a game. And I definitely feel like second half of the season, all of our shots, threes going up, fans are out of their seats and expecting it to go in. So that just feels so good to feel the confidence from them.
It felt like the beginning of something new. But the question was, could one rookie really spark that kind of transformation in a group that had been searching for an identity? At first, the result on the court didn't exactly match that hype. The Fever were still figuring out who they were, adjusting to lineups, facing teams that smelled blood whenever the rookie phenom was the headline. Losses piled up, and critics online pointed out every mistake, every turnover, every defensive lapse. That's when people started wondering if the culture shift Clark brought in at practice was actually worth anything outside the gym. It wasn't just about scoring 30 points or draining logo threes. It was about proving the foundation she had set was real and lasting. Now for Lexie Hull, watching this unfold from inside the team was probably a different story than what fans saw scrolling Twitter. She noticed something other than stats. She saw Clark barking out assignments, reminding teammates to lock down defensively, forcing intensity that wasn't optional anymore. It wasn't flashy, and it didn't make the highlight reels, but it mattered. Hull talked about how those practice moments made the difference. Clark wasn't only running plays, she was creating accountability, demanding everyone show up on the defensive end as much as the offensive one.
Trying to just go get some groceries and someone fist bumps me and says, "Go Fever." Like, that's just a really cool environment, and it shows, the dedication of the fans and the fandom in the city. So that part's been awesome. People were just so excited to come support the Fever. We felt that in our preseason games. We felt that even on draft night, we filled Gamebridge, which felt crazy. The start of the season, I feel like people, once we found out we had the #1 pick, and once Caitlin declared, that kind of changed things, I think, for the city a little bit. Like, we're not even doing anything in Gamebridge, and people are excited to watch the screen and see who we draft. So I think it's been so awesome, and just the growth has been insane.
Imagine being a veteran and suddenly a rookie is setting that tone. That was the kind of leadership that went beyond points on the board. One of the best examples came during scrimmages. You know how practice runs can sometimes feel like just going through the motions? Not with Clark in the building. Hull remembered how Clark treated those runs like real games, firing passes, clapping her hands, yelling at teammates like it was the fourth quarter of a playoff match. That kind of approach forces everyone else to raise their level too. Even rookies sitting on the bench couldn't stay quiet. They had to match the energy. And eventually, veterans started feeding off it as well. That's when you know someone's influence goes deeper than just being the new scorer. But of course, none of this was happening in some bubble. The Fever were one of the most talked about teams online, and the attention wasn't always pretty. Fans debated if Clark was overrated, if the team could win anything, if the chemistry wasn't real. That kind of pressure could have killed the early vibes instantly. Instead, this group leaned into each other, and Hull was right there at the center. She seemed to act like a connector, reminding people that basketball is hard, but it doesn't have to feel heavy every second. That's where the lighthearted moments came in. Birthdays turned into full-on concerts in the locker room, with off-key singing and plenty of laughter. Those little celebrations broke the tension and reminded everyone they weren't just athletes under a microscope. They were a family. Then you had off-court gems, like the viral Swig drive-through clip, when Clark and Hull showed the world their normal, unscripted side. No PR spin, no cameras staged for effect. Just two teammates joking around while ordering drinks, showing fans the same chemistry that carried onto the court. And when Clark's Rookie of the Year nomination rolled around, Hull's message stood out. It wasn't polished PR language, it was genuine emotion. She didn't just hype Clark's insane shot-making, she called out how much respect she had for Clark as a teammate and as a friend. That's when fans realized this wasn't just a teammate dynamic for the cameras. Hull really admired Clark's grind, and Clark appreciated what Hull brought into the locker room. That authenticity is rare, and you could feel it even from the outside. The craziest part? Those wholesome moments weren't just feel-good clips on social media. They started fueling the actual product on the court. Slowly, highlight plays became tied to genuine chemistry, and the Fever's image transformed. Suddenly, this wasn't a struggling young team. It was a group people began to believe in, because the bond was showing up in wins and in energy that couldn't be faked. What makes this duo stand out is how their friendship became more than teamwork. Clark and Hull showed that a bond built on trust and laughter can push a franchise forward. They didn't just help the Fever hit the scoreboard, they reshaped how the team connected, practiced, and carried itself. That's the real culture shift people talk about. So now I want to hear from you. What's your favorite wholesome Clark and Hull moment? Drop it in the comments. Because this isn't only about highlights, their connection is raising the standard for what women's basketball can feel like.